operations and the organization's initial training forward while still a student at University of California, Berkeley, UC. After graduating with a concentration in international area studies and global poverty, she moved to Nairobi full-time in 2016, and since then she has established design thinking, sounds familiar? Yeah. And entrepreneurship programs in Bujumbura, Mexico City, and New Delhi. She leads operations in Nairobi, but also working on Somo's expansion to partner organizations in Mexico City and New Delhi. And I met Amelia back when also GMin was still starting in 2014, correct? 2015. Yeah, a few years. So she's been a great friend as well. And we share ideas on how we can help the young leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs in Kenya and across Africa. And I'm really glad she's volunteered to come speak to you all about what she's been up to and also the opportunities that exist with Somo. So with that, Amelia, welcome. Give her a round of applause.
Hi everyone. I'm glad we did that energy test because everyone was like above 5 at least. So that means you should be energized right now, right? Yeah? Yeah? Need some coffee in the room. So as Richie said, I'm Amelia, and thank you for that intro. And I'm one of the co-founders of Somo. And so I just want to tell you a little bit about what we do at Somo today. But then I want to open it up to a discussion to talk more about entrepreneurship and business and the innovations that you guys are working on as well. So I can start by just telling you a little bit about how I got started with Somo. So as Richie mentioned, I started working in Nairobi informal settlements just about 7 years ago now. And I worked in the educational space. And one of the things that I noticed while working in that space was a really unsustainable NGO model that existed in a lot of these organizations that were starting. And so in the areas that I work in, there would often be a small NGO that would come in, support a school, support a short-term program, and that program might last a year, it might even last a little longer than that, but then it would go away and people would go back to living exactly how they were before. And as well with the school I worked for, the parents of my students weren't still able to pay school fees. And so while that NGO still exists, if it didn't, as so many don't, those kids would be out of school and a constant cycle of being in school, out of school, and not a lot of stability in their lives. Meanwhile, I got the chance to work with a lot of youth groups. So I worked with one youth group in particular that started a business to use different garbage materials to make recycled products out of it. And through the revenue they generated from that business, they were able to sustain the members of the youth group on a livable wage. And so that's kind of where the birth of Somo came from. Those two sides, wanting to create a model that created sustainable change within low-income urban communities and look to individuals that were actually from those communities to come up with the ideas that would address the needs in their own areas. And so what we do at Somo is we work with impact entrepreneurs coming from informal settlements in Nairobi and Kisumu. And then, as Richie mentioned, we have operations as well through partners in India, and Mexico right now. And we look for businesses that touch health, educational, or environmental needs in the communities, but also are sustainable business models that don't need continuous infusions of capital to last long term. And so right now, within Nairobi, we work across 8 different communities. We have 44 entrepreneurs in our portfolio that we've graduated over, now I guess 130 from our training program, and over 500 people we trained in different business skills over the years. And we just launched in Kisumu, so we have our first cohort starting there right now. And I know all of you are starting business ideas or innovation ideas, and I'd love to hear more about them. And if there's a potential that you would actually want to come into Somo at some point as well. So I would love to open up to all of you first before I go on to see if there's any questions about what we do at Somo or any questions about the specific innovations that you've been working on. you understand what we do at Somo? Should I go into that some more?
Or whoever who understood, what does Somo do? Maybe we can hear from you.
Yes.
We work with youth groups that make physical plastic.
So that would be one example. Okay, cool. So that would be one example of a type of business we work with, but we work across a lot of different sectors. And what we do then is we provide the resources that are not usually accessible in the areas that we work in. So that's training, mentorship, access to capital, and markets outside their local communities. And what that means is if you're an entrepreneur coming from the communities we work in, you can apply into our program, go through a 12-week training on basic business skills, and then from there, and so that training helps you develop a business plan, it helps you develop a pitch, it helps you develop a prototype, it sets you up with mentors, both entrepreneurs currently in our portfolio and also trainers on our team. And then it helps you carry out market research, so going and talking to potential customers and getting their opinions on your product or service. And then at the end of those 12 weeks, then you're eligible to enter into our 2-year acceleration program. And with that, the initial piece of our acceleration program is capital, the non-repayable capital that we provide the businesses for any of the startup needs they have. So that might be the machinery they need, or the space they need, or bulk raw materials that they need. Those are some of the types of things we'll invest in. And then we help them sell their products. So our entrepreneurs sell within their own communities, but then we help them sell outside those communities. So we go do that through our own online channels, through existing online channels like GMin, Link, and then we also give them space to work out of. So we have a co-working space in Fera and also in Koragocha in Eastlands, and then mentorship and additional training. So that's a breakdown of what we do. Does anyone have any questions on that? Yeah.
Okay, so may I ask, you said you provide capital to the business, and you sort of like the 3-year acceleration program. So could you elaborate like how do you generate the capital which you assist the university, and more of what is the 3-year acceleration program about, and the qualities like that you never learned from there?
Yeah, so the first question was how we fund the capital we give. So we're a nonprofit, and most of what we do is based off of grants and donations that we receive. So we're funded by places like Google, UC Berkeley as well. Those are some of our funders. And so that's how we provide the grant capital. The later stage capital that we provide is in the form of loans. Everyone knows what loans are. And so that stage, the first stage of it is run by a partner company of ours called Tala. Has anyone ever heard of Tala?
Yeah.
They're mobile lending? Okay. Who's used Tala here? You're not going to tell. The first time they came to our offices, one of my team members ran out because she thought they were coming after her. And I was like, they don't even know that's your data. Anyways, so for our entrepreneurs, they get a separate piece of the Tala platform where they get between 50 to 70K Kenyan shillings, so 50,000 to 70,000 Kenyan shillings, and they have to repay it over 6 months at 3% interest. So it's a little bit different for those of you that have used Tala. For our entrepreneurs specifically, they get a different part of the platform. So Tala funds all of our first stage of loans, and then our second stage or third stage we then still fund internally. So that's how the capital works. In terms of the acceleration program, I think one of the biggest things that we do during that period of time is we work individually with the entrepreneurs that are starting their businesses and provide a lot of coaching and mentorship during that time. We work across a lot of different sectors. So everything from, we have agricultural businesses. So who knows what hydroponics are?
Anyone? Hydroponics?
So hydroponics are where you use, I'm going to butcher this because I'm not an agricultural person, which is why we have an advisory network to help out our businesses, because none of us have every expertise. But you use basically stones that allow you to not use as much water, and it'll also allow you to plant outside of the land. So if the land is polluted and you don't have access to as much water, it helps with farming that way. So it cuts down a lot of costs there, and it allows for cleaner produce to be grown. But so we work with everything from a hydroponics farm that has set up across Karangwari, Kingemi, and Kibera. We have recycling businesses, so we have a business that makes shoes out of recycled fabric and furniture out of recycled tires. We have food production businesses, so we have a peanut butter company, a honey company, training institutes like journalism training school and programming school. And so because we work across so many different sectors, we try to work as much as possible with each individual business and then provide them advisory help, both from our team and then also from our advisory team of professionals around Nairobi that have different expertise. So for instance, with the agricultural business, they have their own mentor that has a lot of expertise in agriculture. So that's one of the biggest things. Additionally, the capital that I was just talking about, helping them sell their products or services. So we actually do the sales for our entrepreneurs. And then as well giving them space to work out of. So our co-working spaces are places where they can access internet and computers and that piece of their business. Any other questions?
On this side.
Yeah.
Okay, so probably a question when people apply and you do a selection, so how do you do your selection so that you can
So for our free program, it's all an application process, and the initial stage is just a one-page application. So that can be filled online or through a hard copy. And it just asks basics of the business. What is the social impact? How is it sustainable? How do you want to scale it? And then from there, our team goes through those and picks the ones that fit into our basic criteria. So our basic criteria, it has to be a sustainable business model, and it has to be touching on health, educational, or environmental. From there, we choose a group that will go through about 10 hours in 10 hours of training in how to write a basic business plan. And that's internal to our team now. So that's usually about 30 to 40 individuals per cohort. And then from there, we choose a class of 15. So in Nairobi, we always have we have one class running in our Kibera facility and one happening in our Cook. So there's usually about 30 people going through training at any given time. In Kisumu, we just have one going on. And so that business plan, the grade you get on that business plan, combined with an interview you do with our team, decides who will enter that 12-week bootcamp. For the acceleration program, we only accept people into the acceleration program that have already gone through our training. So that's a requirement to be accepted into the acceleration program. That's the first requirement. The second one is then it's a little bit more intense of a process then. You're submitting a business plan, you're submitting a deck, you're submitting financial projections. Do you guys know what financial projections are? Yeah? Have you had to do financial projections? Yeah? For your innovation?
How many?
Which is like, I don't know.
Maybe you can explain to them what they are.
Does anyone want to try to tell me what they are first? Someone who said yes? Yeah?
Okay, so basically we are content government management system. So we're working on a system that will connect the households who are the source of garbage to the youth groups who collect that garbage from the household, to the recyclers who will recycle that garbage so that it doesn't go back to the land. So we are working on a system that automates this process. So it doesn't have to be like a human being.
And is it on a mobile app?
It's not. It's based on when you want to reach us, you only send a text message.
Okay.
So you text when you want your garbage to.
I know most of the people that I interact with that recycle my garbage are not.
Yeah, so when you want to recycle this garbage, you send text to the system, and the system broadcasts to the garbage collectors. Those are used. Then it also broadcasts to the recyclers of garbage, so that the moment youths are coming to collect the garbage, also the recyclers are in the way to come collect the garbage from the youths. Yeah, so that is context. Now, like our financial projections. Yeah, now financial projections. We have like we need like a desktop where we put our system into, and where like will be our database, web server in that desktop. Then we also have hosting. We must host it, so it's SMS configuration too. So those are some of the financial projections.
Okay. Yeah, so just to give a summary of that, so financial projections show what your revenue and your costs and your profit are over some given period of time. So that could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be a few years, but it shows a forecast of how your business will do over some given period of time. So it allows an investor or a potential partner to determine if they want to work with you. So our entrepreneurs submit that deck, business plan, and then they also do a pitch in front of a group of our advisors that gets graded. So that's actually getting up in front of a group of people and talking about their business, showing off a prototype, and giving a presentation. So that's how to get into the acceleration program. Did that answer your question fully? Awesome. Yeah, any other questions? None.
No questions?
So I have a question for all of you. Who here is actually interested? So you've been working on innovations. Who actually wants to launch a business after this? Maybe that makes sense with the question. So none of you actually want to launch your business.
Huh?
Did I miss someone?
We've discouraged you that much from business?
Yeah, there we go, there we go. You guys were raising your hands before, why not? Okay, so what are some of the steps that you're all going to take to actually be able to launch your business? Have you thought through that? Yeah? You want to go?
To interact with the, first of all, to users, to interact with them and get to know what they will really want for us to do to them. Yeah, if maybe they have a certain problem that's a unique problem that they want us to tackle, we can.
Is this your customers?
Yeah, users in our project, it deals with drug and substance abuse.
Okay.
So our customers are the drug addicts. Yeah, so we reach to them and get to know what they are really going on, what is really happening and in the rehab centers, and what are they not getting enough, so that we can come in and try to help.
Have you gone out and started talking to them already? Not yet. So that should be your first step. Definitely go talk to your customers. So design some type of survey where you're asking them some questions. You have a demo so that they can play around with it and see how it works, and then get feedback. Because without that, you have no idea if it'll work. That's a good first step. So go talk to them. Anyone else have an idea of what their next step is? Yeah, you want to go?
Okay, now probably when it comes to this, we'll be already having a direct step. So we will like formulate a business plan and like financial projection where we know our revenue streams are these, our marketing strategies are these, and our needs are these, so that when we get an investor, we just give to.
So getting ready to have a pitch ready for your investor. Have you talked to your potential customers? People who actually use the app?
Probably we didn't like have that much of time to speak, but
I would definitely suggest before you develop any of your financial projections or business plan or any of that, go out and talk to some customers. Because you need to know that information before you're able to develop that stuff. And one thing that I think will be key for you and you is who is actually going to pay for your product, your service that you're providing. Because right now, like someone who collects garbage probably doesn't have a lot of extra income. And the same way with someone who has been struggling with drug abuse, they might just be barely be making it enough to support themselves, their families, whatever is needed. So being able to charge that individual is going to be hard. So you might have to figure out if it's somebody else to charge who wants to pay for the service you're providing for those individuals. Who's going to actually pay? What about you guys? I saw some hands over here, yeah?
For us, we are making robotic prosthetic that is affordable than the existing ones. And for us, we think that once we come out of here, at the end of the week, we need to go back to the drawing board because we need to check on its reactivity and magnetism. Because in as much as we are trying to come up with something affordable, we need to check on the user friendliness, right? Then secondly, on its comfort, whether it's comfortable or not. Also check on the user preference. And then lastly, we need to check on the technology regulators, the standard boards and the international standard organizations before we can think of taking the next step.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think it's a great idea to work with potential customers. Do you have a demo already done?
We are still lacking the arm is still being printed.
Okay.
So we are still waiting for it, and yeah. But as soon as it gets here by tomorrow in the morning, we'll be having a giveaway.
Cool. There's actually an accelerator focused on innovations for people with disabilities now that is coming out of the UK, which has started operations in Kenya. And I don't remember the name, but I have it in my email, so ask me afterwards and I can get you the name of it. And I know the director of it.
We'll appreciate it.
That I think would be a good potential for you guys to talk to.
Thank you.
And what about you? You, right? Who had it?
It's the same.
Yeah? Oh, you're all the same business. There was one other person. You're the same one too. You guys are a big team.
No.
Like 7 people.
We have four.
You just decided to spread out.
Yeah.
You don't sit with your teams. It's good. Like changing it up a little bit. Okay, so basically this side of the room wants to start their businesses, and this side of the room does not want to. Yeah? Is that what I'm getting? None of you want to start a business, ever. Who wants? Okay, tell me about your business and what your next steps are.
Project. So just dealing with we're focusing on the family.
Okay?
Yeah, this is like we are trying to solve like the time he or she which he uses in his farm, like feeding the animals. Which now we're coming with a solution to that, making a machine that is automated. That we call the machine the fast circuit automated machine. So the machine will be have sensor which will just sense the gate, and then also we have a job cutter, and now the machine will be feeding the animals without now the farmer coming and like feeding them. Now it's the machine doing the job. That's the solution.
And how will you make sure that, so are they going to feed different animals, or is it like one machine for cows, one machine for pigs?
No, we're just focusing on the cows.
Okay, so it's focusing on cows. And have you prototyped it yet?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No, we just
Okay. Cool. I think a big thing for you, again, back to the customers, you need to talk to farmers and find out if they want it, right?
yeah, like this is the noise.
have to figure out, especially in rural parts of Kenya, if you're trying to replace human labor with technology, one of the biggest hurdles you're going to run into is your technology actually going to be cheaper than the human labor? So like a lot of cases with machinery versus human labor in Kenya, human labor is still cheaper. And so people end up hiring someone to do it versus using the machinery. So you got to work on how to get your pricing down low enough that it convinces someone that they should buy this over the human labor. Yeah? So that's one thing to talk to farmers about. Figure out how much they right now spend in terms of money and time in feeding animals and how you can replace that. Cool. Any other ideas you guys want to share? Or any other questions you have about Somo and what we do? Yeah?
For how long do you invest in the company? Is there an exit or do you become partners forever?
So, that's a good question. Some of our oldest entrepreneurs would definitely tell you it's forever. Technically it's 2 years, but our initial investment is over a 3 month to 1 year period of time that you can receive that grant capital. So you can make a budget for disbursements over that period of time. You never get capital all at once, so the shortest amount of time is over 3 months. And then for the later stage capital, it's all loans. Those loans, you can start a loan at any time within the 2 years as long as you reach all the qualifications. But you can be repaying it after the 2 years. Our total program for the 2-year acceleration program, at the end of those 2 years, we take a 5% stake in the company. So if the company is not selling or not raising a round, that won't mean anything. But if they are, then we own a 5% stake in the company. So what that means to everyone, so after the 2-year acceleration program, every business who goes through that 2 years, Somo owns a 5% equity stake in the company. So that means if there's 100 shares, does everyone know what shares are? Yes? Can someone define it?
Try, you can try.
Someone try.
Someone try. Nothing wrong with trying.
Yeah?
It's different persons. They're putting their money together support something and they get paid.
Yeah, so that's what it is. So it's a lot of different people coming together and owning a piece of the company, basically. So I'm going to give the easy example of 100 shares. So you can break up your company however you want. You can break up it so you have millions and millions of shares, or you can break it up so you have a smaller number. So let's say someone decides my company is going to have 100 shares. That means that if someone owns 5% of the company, they own 5 shares of that company. If someone owns 10%, they own 10 shares of the company. And those shares are now each equal to a certain amount of money. And that's according to whatever the company has been valued at. So how you value a company is you take into account all the current assets they have. So that could be machinery or space that they own. And then you put in what is the potential profitability of that company over a certain period of time. So if you look at a company like Google, the company's worth a lot of money, right? I don't know how much each one of their shares is worth, but they have millions of shares that you can own as an individual. So you can go on and actually buy shares of Google now. But the companies we work with are private companies where their companies are going to be a lot smaller, and there's going to be a lot smaller number of shares that are distributed out. And each of those shares is probably worth a lot less money than because they're smaller companies. So that got a little bit complicated and technical, and if anyone actually wants to talk about equity investing, we can do that later. Okay. There's a lot that goes into go through that later. But yeah, so we do take a 5% stake in each company. But the length of the program is technically like that plus the 3 months.
any plans of introducing the program to the other counties, or you just be specifically in the
So our goal is definitely to be in other counties. Our focus is on urban areas. So the places that we've, as of now, explored expanding to are just urban areas. So we will be expanding to a third location the year 2021 or the end of next year, 2020 maybe. But we're not sure exactly where we'll be yet. But our plan is to expand past Nairobi and Kisumu. We just haven't identified exactly where that would be.
Do you have suggestions? Do you have suggestions of where they should expand?
Yeah, definitely. Tell me suggestions. Where should we expand?
Some countries like Mombasa have larger population.
Yeah, Mombasa.
That would be great.
I think Mombasa is definitely potential. Are you from Mombasa? How do you get that? Any other suggestions of where we should expand? Yeah.
Do you only give the dates in the urban areas?
So we actually don't just work with youth. So we work with our youngest entrepreneur entered our program when she was 19, and our oldest is now 64. So we have a wide range of entrepreneurs. The majority of our entrepreneurs are in their 20s and 30s, so there's still a bigger pack in that age group. But we, as of now, have not looked into expanding to rural areas. And there's a few reasons for that. One is just the expertise of our team and our experience working in urban areas. Two, it's easier to get to more people quicker from our side, and then be able to organize trainings easier in urban areas. And three, the resources that we have accessible in a place like Nairobi in terms of advisory help and help with sales channels are a lot easier here. So we haven't looked into that, but that's not to say we never would. Just haven't done it yet. Yeah.
For Somo, do you have like age barrier, like let's say like you only accept people between a certain range, or
No, so you can be as old as you want to apply to our program, or as young as you want to apply to our program. Our goal is to look for the best ideas and to send those motivated, passionate entrepreneurs to be turned out. So we don't cut it off with a certain age. We have had youth-specific cohorts in the past, but generally our application process is open end. And it's always rolling, so you can always apply.
So when you find ideas, do they, when the business do they give back the money?
So the initial stage of capital, no, it's non-repayable that the entrepreneurs receive. So the initial stage that we give is up to 185,000 Kenyan shillings of flexible capital, and then we give about 15,000 in branding and marketing help that we help control some of. The flexible capital can be invested in any capital goods of your business or bulk raw materials. So capital goods, does anyone know what capital goods are? I'm asking you guys for a lot of definitions that's like almost 90. Sorry.
Anyone want to guess or try?
Anyone gonna guess? Oh, sorry, let's do this. Okay, yeah, that's a good way of defining some capital goods. So overall, capital goods are products or items that last you for a long period of time. So as opposed to operational costs, which will be recurring and might occur every day or every week or every month, capital goods will last you for a long extended period of time. So an example of that would be a computer or a car or a building. So those are some of the things that we'll invest in. So we won't invest in something that's an operational cost. So something like rent or salaries are not things we invest in. With the first funds that we get, which are non-repayable. Then the second and third and however many stages of loans of capital that we give are all repayable. So those are then Yeah? So no, we will not.
What was the question? I couldn't hear.
If you need a loan now to start a business, will you? So the initial piece of our program that everyone has to go through in order to qualify or potentially qualify for the acceleration program is our training program. So that's an application process just for the training program. Once you've graduated training from Somo, then you can apply to receive all the things that come with the 2-year acceleration program.
So one must go through your training first before you accept.
Yeah, and it doesn't ensure that you'll be accepted into the acceleration program. The training is a program in itself. But that is a requirement for applying to the acceleration program. Any other questions? Yeah.
When you say about now that you have to go through the national program before you apply, what's the criteria? And for example, there's a Somo container in is it Olympic?
That's us.
Well, so then you go there and apply from there.
Yeah, you can apply from there, or you can just apply online. So either one, through our website, you can apply as well. But you can get a hard copy application, or come and use our computers to apply at Somo.
So what's the criteria? Because you're saying you can go through this program and not get it. So like, what are specifically are they looking for? How will our innovators be able to apply in the future?
Do you remember the steps? Do you want to take her through? Want to try to summarize?
Okay, so
I'll jump in.
So probably when you apply, so you go on a training for 12 weeks, and after which they focus on dressing.
I'm just going to interrupt you real quick. So to apply to get into the 12-week program, there's a couple stages. One is what I was just mentioning, filling out a one-page application online or hard copy. That's a really simple one-pager. You have to tell us about your business, what the social impact is, how it's sustainable. Then from there, we choose some businesses to go through about 10 hours of training and how to write a basic business plan. If you make it into that round, then you're submitting a business plan that will go into judging for who enters that 12-week program. That and an interview will determine if your team will go into the 12-week boot camp. So, so for you guys coming from Kibera area, we hold a boot camp that's focused on Kibera, Karangwari, and Kenyan. Our other boot camp is focused on Eastlands areas, so we have people from a lot of areas actually on that side. Mathari, Koragocho, Soweto, Deru, Pipeline, and Githurai also is included there. And so we'll then pick a group of people to go through that 12 weeks. There'll be about 15 businesses that go through that program with you. Then is where he was getting to. So that's one program in itself. You have to apply to that first, you have to get in, you have to go through the full 12 weeks in order to apply into the second program. Do you want to explain that part? Do you want me to? Okay, so then the second program is a 2-year acceleration program where we help with funding, we help with additional training, we help with mentoring and coaching, and we help with sales for your business, and we give you space to work out. So you can come and work from our space for seasonal Olympics. And that, the first qualifier is you have to have gone through the 12-week program. Then you're doing a pitch in front of a group of our advisors who are different business professionals and investors throughout Nairobi. And then you're submitting a business plan, financials, and a deck to this, and then we choose some businesses to go through that acceleration program. Yeah, so you just hop into Somo and Olympic. You walk by and you haven't walked in.
Okay, I'll probably must message you. Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe through Richie, you could provide us with the website where we can apply.
Yeah. I can.
I can
The
protect
board I
it.
can write on. So you can write stuff on
Oh,
it.
you want to write?
Either that or Richie can provide all of our information. Though it just changed our website, so.
Yeah, it's Somo Africa now.
Yeah, so I mean, you'll still get it with the Somo cover, but
Is it a work?
the one behind it. Oh, this. But I don't want to ruin someone's drawing here. It looks like a robot. This is a robot. Okay. Cool. So, is this a whiteboard? For sure. Okay. It's a weird textured whiteboard. So that's our website. And then my name is Amelia. And so you can get me at Amelia at Somo Africa.
You have an event coming up.
Yes! I was going to mention that. So, I sadly don't have flyers with me right now because our marketing officer ran off with them to pass them out somewhere. But we have an event on the 17th of August at the Alchemist. Does everyone know where the Alchemist is?
Too young to know.
Yeah, I hear some yeses. It's better than some crowds I've gotten. Some people I just like get like a blank stare, but it's anyway. Well, in Westland, and I can send out a flyer to Richie that he can pass along to all of you. But you'll get to see a lot of our businesses and their the products they sell. They'll be doing little exhibitions. Some of them will be actually showing off their services. And we'll also, if that doesn't convince you, we'll also have Antonio Soul singing. Do you guys know who Antonio Soul is? Okay, you know who Antonio Soul is, and you guys don't. Come on!
They know ethics. They don't. It's not. Not yet.
Okay, well, you should come on the 17th. You're going to hear more about Somo, meet our team, meet our entrepreneurs, and also the singer Antonio Soul. It's August 17th at the Alchemist from 10 to 3. So yeah, under our website though, if you scroll, we're putting the application back up, but it's down a little further than it used to be. So scroll down to Become an Entrepreneur if you want to check out our application. Sorry for my scribble. Can't believe you guys don't know who Antonio Soul is. We're gonna have to play some music at some point. I am sadly completely toned deaf. You really don't want that to happen. Like absolutely completely toned deaf. But he's not, so. We're good on that.
Kisam, Chipunga.
Yeah, Chispunga. You guys know Chispunga? No, still no? Still we don't know? We're gonna get some more popular culture in here. During Innovate Kenya Innovation Camp Week, we start playing some songs.
Well, we try to.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Any other questions for Amelia?
Okay, well if you do, you can email me. Also check out our website if you guys are interested in applying. Come on by our offices. So if you know Kibera at all, they're just in, if you come down from the stage at Olympic, they're near the Chiefs camp. So if you ask for Somo or if you ask for the Chiefs camp, you should find us. It's a big yellow container, so you can't miss it, just so you know. And then if you are from Eastlands area and know Korogosho Market, our offices are just at the Ruraka Resource Center in the Korogosho Market. So if you also want to just come by, totally welcome. Awesome. Well, nice to meet all of you. And good luck with your pitches on Saturday. I sadly will not be there because I have a wedding, but I'm excited to hear how it goes. Not my wedding, somebody else's wedding.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amelia. And I'll call on. He actually insisted he wanted to do the vocal dance, so I'll ask who wants to do it. So please, go on ahead.
Okay, hi guys. Probably I want to thank Amelia for very big things. Like if it wasn't for Amelia, we couldn't be here today. And I know she doesn't know that. Like right now, Charles Juma is my brother.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say you look exactly like one of our entrepreneurs, but
yeah, so Charles Juma is having a school for programming where he applied for Somo and he was accepted. So we as Contact Kenya, we got like some basics of coding from that, and with that we created this idea, we came up with this idea and could create like a system. So it couldn't be for her, we could have not been here. So I really a living example of what Somo is doing, us. Yeah, because they funded Charles Juma looked for us, our group mentored us, and with that we knew GMin and we came in. So we really appreciate that, and we really appreciate the time for being here, coming to us, talking to us, and we really, did we learn?
yes.
Yeah, a lot of things, and we understood you very well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Full circle.
Yeah. I was gonna say you look exactly like Charles. I had to do a double take when I actually sat down. There's Charles here. He was literally with me like an hour ago. In our offices.
Nice. So thank you so much, Amelia. Thank you for taking the time to talk to young leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs. As I mentioned before, we